Hello, my name is Franklin and welcome to my channel. Today we are checking this Bobcat mini excavator. The customer says he's had a couple mechanics come by and check it out already. It has a hydraulic leak that they cannot find, and says they've come and checked it out and they couldn't find the leak. So I'm going to check it out and see what I can find, and then we'll get to it. You can see we have been working with this thing for a couple weeks now, looking for the leak. I ended up having to pull all the sides off. You see, I pulled all the sides off. I pulled the bottom plates off. I had to remove this tank here. I drained the diesel into those cans, took out the diesel tank. I took off that part in the center up there. I looked everywhere, could not find the leak anywhere. All I know is whenever we cut it down, it's got diesel everywhere. Hydraulic oil everywhere. So I got it traced down to these lines right here. It's got to be these lines, right? One of these. These are the only ones that come out of there. And the oil is coming down through here. So, and there are no lines in here. I checked the other side under the hydraulic tank and there's no leaks there. So we're going to cut it on right now. I'm going to put the camera up on the tripod. And I'm going to just kind of shine it down to these lines and see which one of these lines is spraying out the diesel. Because it's got to be coming from there somewhere, because it's coming down through here pouring, but couldn't find any diesel in there. I'm sorry, any hydraulic oil in there or anything. So I'm gonna go inside and start it up and put the camera here so we can see where it comes out at. Well, that was a big surprise. I thought it was going to be one of these. I didn't have any clue that it might be this thing. So the crack is right around here somewhere. There's a crack and it's shooting out, spraying down here, and we thought it was coming from the hoses, but it wasn't. It was coming from the inside. So now, unfortunately, this pipe must have been put on before they put the cab and everything, because I could not find a way to get in there and get this thing off. It's got a T on the other end. It's got a hose on this side and a hose on this side. And there's no way to get in there to get it off. There's no access from the bottom. It's completely welded shut. And on the back part of this, it's completely welded shut. As you can see, it's a completely separate compartment, so it's like way up in there, and it's even a separate compartment, a wall here before you get to that line. And over there on the bottom, there's no way to access it too. This is where the tanks are, but you can see on that side where that hose goes, there's no way to get in there. So I took off this cover here also, and there's no way to get under there unless you got some, I don't know, some octopus arms. You can kind of wiggle around those hoses and get up in there. So we're gonna have to I don't know, figure some way to get in there and get that hose off. Well, getting it off, I can probably finagle that way. I can probably put a wrench in here. There's a hose on this side and there's a hose on that side. This pipe is a T. So I can probably might squeeze in here and get this side off, and then disconnect the other end of this one and try to pull it a little bit. Might be able to get a wrench on that side. Now that's just getting it off, but getting it on, that's a whole other monster. I'm gonna have to add some hoses and make an extension or some other kind of modification, because I don't see how. Okay, I have purchased the new tube. This is the new tube. This is the part that connects to the hose on the back of the pump. And this is the one that goes, this was inside of there. There's a hose on that side and a hose on this side. Inside that little hole, you see that little hose right there? That connects to right here. And there's one on that side. If you can see it or not, but it's there. And the other one connects to here. Okay, now, I don't know how they expect us to get that in here, but this tube here It's supposed to go through here. This one's supposed to come out. Unfortunately, there's some nuts that hold this little clamp on, and there's also another clamp halfway down there under this hydraulic tank. So you got to remove the hydraulic tank, and you got to remove the diesel tank, and you got to remove a bunch of stuff in there, and then you got to figure out how you're going to stick your hand with the wrench through here to tighten it up, because the only thing that sticks out is this piece here, and this thing here is in the way. So you got to take a lot of stuff apart. So I'm not going to do it that way. I can do it, but it will take a lot more man hours and work, and the customer does not want to pay any more extra money. So we're going to run this tube on that side, on the inside, and that way you don't have to try and take the tank out and take all this stuff off, and we'll fasten it down on the other side. So on this end right here, there's a hose that goes across there, and it comes out on this one right here. You can't see up in there, but that's the hose right there. It goes back there. So I'm going to take this hose off right here and pull it out, and I'll connect it to the other side before I put this tube through. So let's get this sucker in there. This is the hydraulic tank right here, and to get that tube out, you can see down at the bottom, that's the other end of the tube. It wouldn't come out either. You got to pull out this tank here to get that bottom tube out, which is that same tube, comes out all around through here, and then it goes into there. This is the end that goes into there, and this is the end and the bottom of the pump down there. So you're supposed to remove this tank here, unclamp that, and then I already removed the diesel tank. So what we're going to do instead, this tube, we're going to run on the other side of the wall. So if it ever happens again, we don't have to take all that stuff off. We'll just pull it back through there from the inside. So instead of taking 24 hours, it'll be done in like 4 or 5 hours. Let's get to it. Okay, as you can see, I have taken this pipe here and loosened it up, this hose, and I'm going to pull it out. Okay, and this is the other end that goes on to there. So what I'll do is I'll feed it from the other side, the engine compartment where the hydraulic pump is at, and I'll feed it all the way through, already connected. And that'll make it easier from the other side. Let's do that. If you ever have to order this tube and order this thing, make sure you get the seal that goes in there, and make sure it's a O-ring bar seal. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and connect this onto here, so I can just put it in from that side and run it all along the back and reconnect it on this side over here. I won't have to try to hook these two up on the inside, the middle here. I will not have to remove this. If it ever happens again, I don't have to remove the hydraulic tank, and I don't have to remove the diesel tank either. I can just disconnect it from over here and over there and pull it straight out the back. So let's do that. Okay, as you can see, I've got the hose tightened on here now, so I won't have to try and tighten it while it's in through this little tiny hole and try to line it up with my fingers. So I got it, took it off of there, and I got it hooked on here. Now I'm going to cap off this end, so when I fish it through there won't be any trash getting inside the hose. We don't want that. And this here connects to that little tiny one right there. So we'll have to do some fishing through this hole. We'll see about getting that one off too. Let's try it next. As you can see, I've already put back in the fuel tank here and added 15 gallons of diesel. I've refastened down the hydraulic tank, and the hose that was cracked, I just put it on the opposite side of that wall so that if it cracks again, I don't have to remove the diesel tank or the hydraulic tank, because this is one end of it right here, and instead of running it behind here, it runs down through there, it runs across all the way across the back and comes out right here. This is it right here, one behind that one. So that way, when it cracks again, if it cranks again, whoever takes it out will now have to remove this diesel tank and the hydraulic tank to get to it. So we're gonna do now, we put diesel in already. I'm gonna top off the hydraulic fluid, and then we're gonna give it a leak test to see if it leaks. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start it up and check for leaks. We're gonna operate it a little bit operate the functions, and then look and see if it's going to be leaking anywhere. Okay, engage that. Pick up that. Let's bring it around. Go. It's raining, so sorry for the blurriness. My phone's kind of getting wet. Okay, let's check. It's a little blurry because it's raining real bad. Okay. We'll operate this one here. Oh, we're gonna pick that up. Don't move it too much. We got a bunch of junk around. Okay, now let's go around and check for leaks. Okay, we changed the hose there. Okay. No drips. It's kind of raining. We have to check it again later. We changed that hose there. No leaks. Run level. It's good. So put the tank back in, diesel tank back in, and hydraulic tank. Okay, no leaks. Check over here again. This one we took off right here. We had to replace, and it was spraying down, pouring down right there. A little bit of rain, but no hydraulic leaks. So let's call it good. Okay, I want to thank you very much for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, hit that like button, the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you would like to, you can also become a member now. I really appreciate that. We'll see you in the next video.